Well, Nintendo just announced Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. It came out almost 5 years ago. Nonetheless, I'm pretty hyped. It seems to be really cool. The track selections so far actually don't look that bad. And can we talk about the price for a second? $25 for 48 tracks. That's a steal! But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about the tracks that, I personally wish are going to be in the past and the future. This includes all tracks in the mainline series, from SNES all the way to Tour. I've also noticed that some tracks in the past so far are from Tour, so that kind of gives the implication that some of them are going to be from Tour, just ripped straight out of it. And for the Mario Kart Tour tracks, they're not going to be remixes or the second one, it's only going to be the original. And I think this goes without saying, these are my opinions. If you have a different opinion than mine, then that's okay. This is the internet, you can share your opinions anywhere. But with all that out of the way, let's get started. So first, the Turnip Cup. Let's get this one out of the way. SNES Vanilla Lake 1. I'm genuinely surprised we haven't gotten a Vanilla Lake track in the mainline Mario Kart games ever since the first game. It's been a really long time, so I feel like this would be a perfect start to bring it back. And in the original game, turning was awful, and you slipped on the slippery ice, which was a terrible combination. And with the better controls in this game, slipping on the ice won't actually be that bad and be much better. And maybe you can add a glider ramp. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, so let's go on to the next track. Now this one I have a lot to say about. GCN Bowser's Castle. I am so surprised that they did not remake a Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart 8. That is surprising to me. They didn't even do that in the original DLC. So this is going to be for the lack of a Bowser's Castle. I have a feeling that in this spiral section, it will be an anti-gravity zone where you can find speed boosts and some items. And this jump at the end is basically asking to be a glider ramp. I think adding the wrench-throwing Monty Moles in here would be so cool, because they pop out and give the little area a little more challenge. That would be cool. My one problem with the track is that it's a little too long, so I feel like adding some shortcuts would be much needed. That's basically all I have to say about GCN Bowser's Castle. So let's go on to the next track. Mario Kart Tour's Merry Mountain. There's also not really much to say about this track. I obviously have to say, make it 3 laps, not 2. That's going to go for every single Tour track, by the way. I feel like adding an anti-gravity section at the end on the hill is a very smart move, because it's very steep, and because Mario Kart Tour doesn't have anti-gravity. I also feel like adding some boost panels when going up the hill would be very fun. Alright, let's go on to the last track of the cup. Alright, you guys were all guessing this. DS Waluigi Pinball. Even if you're not a big fan of Waluigi Pinball, you gotta admit, it's definitely gonna happen in the DLC. There's only one change I want, and that is the ramp near the middle is gonna be anti-gravity. But that's the only change. This track is good enough on its own. Maybe you can have a shortcut where you ride on the girders where the pinballs come from. Yeah, so there's not much to improve on, so let's go into the Propeller Mushroom Cup. The first track is GBA Sunset Wilds. I am so happy that they brought this back in Mario Kart Tour. It is such a fun track. With that being said, I feel like the end should be a little higher up, much more elevated. I feel like that would be much cooler. And I feel like adding a tad bit more shortcuts would be really cool as well. Maybe when the third lap appears, the mud dries up and then a boost panel appears. Maybe you can see Shy Guys mining for coal, gold in the background. Or maybe, just maybe, if you look far enough in the background, you can see Calamari Desert. I don't know, I'm just putting ideas on the table. Alright, that's enough of Sunset Wilds. Let's go on to the next track. 3DS Woohoo Loop. I will downright say, this is my favorite track in the entire series. I love that this track is based on Wii Sports Resort. That is such a cool concept. Especially because Wii Sports Resort is my favorite game on the Wii. Okay, enough of me praising this game, let's get onto the track. One thing that I want to be changed is the fact that the tunnel is very slow, so I recommend adding like some boost panels in there, or some items. Maybe the island flyover plane can be seen in the distance and sometimes just flies over the track. Maybe some Miis are playing golf and shooting coins into the track. Yeah, I don't have any other ideas to improve this, so let's go on to the next track. Mario Kart Tour London Loop. So me personally, I love London. It looks so cool and unique. And the Mario Kart Tour track is no different. I love that they have key locations in the track too. They have Big Ben, Trafalgar Square, Tower of London, etc. I would personally add some boost panels on the bridge so it goes really fast. I'll put a couple of buses down so you can jump on top of them and then get a boost. But those are the only two things I'm going to change, because the track is still pretty good nonetheless. Okay, now we're down to the last track of the cup. The last track is going to be N64 Wario Stadium. So either people like this track or hate it. And I see most people in the neutrals, but I personally love this track. This is in fact the last N64 track that needs to be remade, so I'm going to put it here. A whole lot can be changed for this track, so bear with me. So this is the new layout I made. I'll go from start to finish. So first, go on some ramps and then a boost panel. Then there's a pair of item boxes. and then there's a ramp, and then there's some more item boxes. Then there's some oil which you can slip on, then a couple of boost panels, some mud that slows you down, some ramps, and then an item box. Then there's a big ramp with some item boxes, then a couple tiny ramps, which then leads into an anti-gravity section that leans you towards the wall. And then you take a nice sharp turn and then you're out of the anti-gravity zone. Then there's a bunch of boost panels that speed you up. And then there's a shortcut, or you can go in the normal way, which then leads into a gliding section with a bunch of bumps that give you tricks. Then take a nice hard right, and then a nice hard left with a mud shortcut if you have a mushroom. And then it leads off with a bunch of boost panels that take you to the finish line. Yeah, I had a lot to say about this track. I just love it, and I really want it to return. Well, that was Wave 2. Now on to Wave 3. First track being Mario Kart Tour's New York Minute. So this is the first track released for Mario Kart Tour, being obviously based on New York. I personally think it would be unchanged from the original, maybe like an extra shortcut or glider ramp, but that's basically the only thing that's going to change. Nothing really else I had to say. But on to the next track. The next track is SNES Mario Circuit 4. So this is the last SNES Mario Circuit to be remade. The change you want to see is there to have less walls so you can drift a little more, instead of taking really, really sharp turns. And maybe a glider ramp, because why not? Alright, on to the next track. Another fan favorite being Wee Toad's Factory. I would love to see this track in the new Mario Kart 8 engine. It would look so good. And I think in the engine room, making anti-gravity would be so cool. And then you can add a gliding section, and then you can skip the water like the old Mario Kart Wii shortcut. I chose this track because of Wii Moo Moo Meadows. They outdid themselves when remaking it. And I feel like this one would be even better. Alright, last track of the cup. 3DS Rock Mountain. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't have much to say about this track. Except for making the end anti-gravity, there's not really much else to say. Alright, on to the Moon Cup. First track being GBA Snowland. Out of all the ones on the list so far, I feel like this one should be remade the most because of how awful the original was. Just like Super Mario Kart, this game also had really bad mechanics, and of course because this is an ice track, you slipped everywhere. Also, I don't know what Nintendo's thinking, but the screen shakes the entire time you're racing. That's awful. Also, these use ice puddles where if you touch them once, you spin out unless you brake in time, which is awful. But if all those are fixed, I feel like this would be a great track. Alright, on to the next track. GCN Dino Jungle. Just like Waluigi Pinball, I feel like this is another one that's absolutely gonna happen. For one, it's in Mario Kart Tour, and second off, it's a fan favorite. The only change I'd like to see is for the inside of the cave to be anti-gravity, but that's basically it. Next track is going to be DS Mario Circuit. Sometimes you need a boring track and a cup, just to spice it up a little bit. I feel like once you go through the pipe, it should turn into anti-gravity, so you know, it's a little unique. It's a little different than the original. Just like SNES Mario Circuit 4, I feel like this one should also have a little bit less walls, so you don't have to take much sharper turns. With that being said, we have one more track, that being N64 Calamari Desert. This is pretty much going to be unchanged from the Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Tour versions. It's just going to be exactly the same. Maybe an extra gliding ramp? I don't know. Alright, that was Wave 3. Now on to Wave 4. Starting off the Apple Cup with Wii DK Summit. Man, I would love to see this track in Mario Kart 8. It would be so fun just trekking everywhere and just drifting really hard. I don't really have much I want to change, maybe just keep the one single cut, but that's basically it. Alright, on to the next one. SNES Bowser's Castle 2. I spun a wheel and chose a random Bowser's Castle, and this is the one that was chosen. And I actually think this is a great choice. This Bowser Castle is honestly okay, but it could be much better, especially in the new game. I feel like that stop section, that's the dead end, could be a jump shortcut if you have a mushroom, which would be really cool. But overall, this track needs a makeover, so I hope they do really well in the DLC. The next track is Mario Kart Tour's Vancouver Velocity. I like that out of all the places in Canada they chose for Mario Kart Tour, they chose Vancouver. That's really cool. Just like all the other Mario Kart Tour tracks, they're basically going to be unchanged from the original. Last track of the cup is going to be Wee Dry Ruins. This is my favorite desert track in the entire Mario Kart series, so I'd love to see it return. I think a gliding ramp where you require a mushroom at the beginning would be really cool looking. Maybe in the cave it's going to be completely anti-gravity. I don't know, I like to see what they would do with this course if it's in the DLC. Now onto the Boomerang Flower Cup. First track being 3DS Daisy Hills. I personally have a soft spot for this track in Mario Kart 7. I really don't know why. It's just visually appealing and looks really nice. Maybe after riding on the houses you can get a little boost in a gliding section. This track is already good enough, I don't really know what else to change. It just feels like a Mario Kart 8 track. So, you know what? I really want this track to return. Alright, on to the next course, which is going to be GCN Wario Coliseum. I have a feeling this one is definitely going to return. It's just so popular with the community. I I could see a lot of stuff being in Mario Kart 8 like this. This looks like an anti-gravity section, and the jump in the middle could basically just be a glider ramp. I could see them doing a lot of cool things with this track, so let's go into the next one. SNES Koopa Beach 1. I'm gonna be completely honest here, I don't like Koopa Beach 1 or 2, and that's why it should be remade, so it's much more enjoyable. Here's a couple changes to the track that I made. A little speed boost, so you don't slow down on the water, a gliding section, and a bridge. So I did a small number of changes so it'd work in the modern game. Alright, on to the last track of the cup. And this one's gonna be an interesting one. GBA Rainbow Road. I'm genuinely curious on how they would remake this track. Would there be boosts on the side? What would the jumps do? How wide would the track be? Would there be anti-gravity? Will there be a gliding ramp? After a long time of thinking about it, this is what I came up with. This is the original one, and this is them overlapped. Yeah, it's a little different from the original. For one, this part is anti-gravity and leans 70 degrees to the right, and instead of a giant jump, this one has a gliding ramp. But yeah, this is what I came up with. And that's the end of Wave 4. Now on to Wave 5. Damien, give me a random Mario Kart track that's not in Mario Kart 8.
Mute City and N64 Rainbow Road.
Okay, give me another.
Big Blue.
Never mind, I'm done asking questions. Alright, let's knock 2 birds with 1 stone out here. Mario Kart Tours, Berlin Byways, and Singapore Speedway. I don't have much to say about these tracks. I just hope they all stay the same and hopefully are in the game in the future. But the next one is GCN Mushroom City. This track is basically Toad's Turnpike and Mushroom Bridge combined, and I love it. I don't see this one being so far from the source material, but I think it would be changed just a tiny little bit. Maybe like a glider section, or maybe in fact an anti-gravity zone that's a shortcut. Maybe the Wiggler bus and the bomb car can return. That would be so cool. Alright, on to the last track of the cup. N64 Koopa Troopa Beach. Can you smell something? I smell no changes. I'm gonna be completely honest. This does not deserve to change. This track was perfected in Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Tour. This is a perfect track for beginners. Alright, onto the Double Cherry Cup. Starting off with Wii Koopa Cape. One main change I want to this track is for the underwater section to be anti-gravity, so it's on its side. That would be really, really cool to look at. Now I'd love to see how fast you go on 200cc in the water stream. On to the next track. DS Luigi's Mansion. Just like Dino Dino Jungle and Waluigi Pinball, this one is definitely gonna happen for sure. I'm curious to see what they do with the outdoor section, or will it just be flat like the original? I'm pretty sure the inside of the mansion's gonna be on its side in anti-gravity mode because, well, it's Mario Kart 8, and second off, it's a haunted house. Pretty much all I have to say for this track, so let's go on to the next one. Wii Daisy Circuit. This track looks so gorgeous. This track is basically just Toad Harbor, but before it hits dusk, and I love the way it looks. I hope if this is remade, the giant jump will become a glider ramp, which can glide over everybody, or the tunnel will become anti-gravity, and you're basically shifting upside down. But something that is for certain, I would love to hear the remix of this in Mario Kart 8. That would sound so good. Alright, on to the last track of the cup. I try to end every single wave with a bang, so this one, I chose 3DS Maka Woohoo. It would feel wrong to have Woohoo Loop, but not Maka Woohoo, so I chose both of them. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like there's just no Miis in this track, so I feel like on the sidelines in the cave there should be Miis cheering you on. They're like, people are kayaking and waving at you. When you glide down the mountain, you can see the island flyover plane start shooting fireworks in the air in celebration of you finishing. And maybe when you get to your final lap, it gets dark. Just like Daisy Circuit, I would love to see what this looks like in the Mario Kart 8 engine. Alright, now we're down to the final wave. Wave 6. Kicking it off with GBA Boo Lake. This is one of my personal favorite ghost tracks from the entire series. I wonder if the entire track will just be anti-gravity like Baby Park and just be tilted on its side. I would personally give this part a glider ramp just to spice it up a little bit and make it a little more interesting. I would make the candle-holding boos return so they can steal your coins and cling onto you and slow you down. Next up is DS Airship Fortress. This is another very big one with the community. Just like the others, I feel like this one is definitely gonna return. I definitely think that the inside of the airship should be anti-gravity. It's just inevitable, it's built to be like that. Not a whole lot else needs to be said, so let's just go on to the next one. 3DS Shy Guy Bazaar. For Mario Kart 7, this is stylistically one of the best tracks in the game, so that's why I feel like it should be brought over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The change I'd like to see is for part of the track to be anti-gravity, but I honestly don't know how they would do that with the track layout. The last track of the Acorn Cup is going to be N64 Bowser's Castle. This is one of the most popular tracks from Mario Kart 64, and for a good reason. For one, this is a very simple course, especially for a Bowser's Castle. And two, it's just very fun. The change I like is after going through the Thwomp hallway, you get to go in an anti-gravity zone that tilts you on the wall until you get outside of the courthouse. One more thing I'd like to change is the giant jump will just be a glider ramp, but that's basically it. Alright, we're on to the final cup, the Blue Shell Cup. And because Mario Kart is turning 30 years old this August, I'm gonna do this. Yup, I'm hoping that every single Rainbow Road is gonna be in this game. Everyone else is hoping for this, and so am I. Alright, I'm gonna go in depth on each one. So first we have Mario Kart DS Rainbow Road. I remember I saw Mario Kart 8 custom track video a long time ago, and this looks so good in the engine. So first off, yeah, the loop-de-loops are definitely the anti-gravity. Like, that's basically what it was made for. I think at the end of the first loop-de-loop there should be a glider ramp, so it'd be cool getting back onto the track. Okay, now onto Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road. So right off the bat, the incline at the start is going to be anti-gravity. After you get out of the Rainbow Canyon, everything is going to be an anti-gravity from there until you pass the finish line. Because, well, the track is already twisty enough, so I think anti-gravity would be perfect for that. And this jump here is going to have a glider ramp. Okay, now onto Double Dash's Rainbow Road. So first off, I want the corners to be a little less sharp, but barely. I don't know how you could do this, but you could probably make it so you're in an anti-gravity zone, and then when you turn, you lean upwards and get shot out of a cannon. Like I said earlier, maybe it could be like Baby Park, where the entire track is tilted to one side and it's always an anti-gravity. Okay, and now onto Mario Kart 7's. I couldn't think of a better track to end the pass on. Like, look, this track looks gorgeous. The only change you want to make is after that glider ramp, it just becomes entirely anti-gravity from there until you reach the finish line. That's basically the only change I want to this track. This track is really good nonetheless. Well, those are my predictions. What track do you want to return? Would you buy the pass of these with the tracks? Most importantly, will Damien give me a correct answer? Comment down below your answers.